Hello, welcome back to the ASPA podcast. My name is Lily Coash Johnson. I'm the marketing intern for ASPA, and today we're joined by two of our pre-conference presenters for our annual conference, Gabe Capozzo and Phil Georgia. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
Thanks, Lily.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
So why don't you guys go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Gabe, do you want to start off?
Yeah, that would be fine. This is my 18th year coming up in education. Education kind of found me as a second career. Started as a substitute teacher, became a teacher for special education, went into administration, assistant principalship. I wrapped up a year ago, my sixth year as a principal at elementary level, and completed my first year of being a director of human resource in Beach Park School District.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil?
So I've been the I'm the assistant superintendent of HR in the Lake Forest schools. This is my first year in that role. For the last 2 years, I've been the director here in the district, and served as a director in a different district for 2 years before that. But I come from the school setting. I was a principal for 8 years, an assistant principal for 6 years, and a teacher for probably 11 years all told. So, and that's even been an experience from elementary, middle school, and high school levels. So I've had a full gamut and just was drawn to HR just by the personnel side, dealing with people, the hiring, helping them improve, and that's really where I found my niche.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like you both have done a lot of different steps in the education process, which is awesome. So tell us, what sessions are you presenting at this year's annual conference?
So our session is called Writing the Ship Without Rocking the Boat. Writing effective communications that document, correct, and support. And kind of what brought us to this is I've been a mentor for Gabe, or he's been mentoring me. It's really a symbiotic relationship over the last year. And we've realized there's a lot of resources and tools out there that can really be of assistance to people when they're dealing with problems that happen at work and personnel and correcting them and documenting things for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think would motivate someone to come to your session?
So the thing I think that would motivate them, it would be coming to get the resources that we're planning to review and go over. There's a lot of content that as often happens at seminars, but when you see a product that you can actually use that covers all of that content, I think people will find that super helpful.
Yeah, Gabe, do
Yeah,
you
I
want
would.
to?
Yeah, I would agree with that. As Philip mentored this, mentioned, he's my mentor this year in my first year as a director, and through our conversations, he's provided an invaluable amount of resources, and we've had a lot of discourse and dialogue about how to handle particularly personnel situations. So, what we wanted to do in our conversation was just provide our attendees with actual employee incident investigations, the synopsis, investigations that took place, and the outcomes we've had. We'd be looking to allow them to work in groups to discuss how they would investigate real scenarios that we've encountered, that we've experienced, provide our evidence, the communication, the outcomes, and then the focus is always right the improvement of our staff members' performance. So it's never about uh, termination; it's always about correction and support. And I think that that's what people will be able to walk away with is real scenarios, how we handle them, and that's what we're excited to share with people.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you like your attendees to take away from this presentation?
Again, it's a lot of common resources that are available that we can provide to our attendees that's going to make their job easier. Letters, templates, checklists, systems, some things that have really, as a first year human resource director, have really allowed me an opportunity to build consistency within our district with administration, all administrators, kind of have a common language, common vocabulary, similar outcomes and formats for situations that are, bring up letters of termination for probationary employees, recommendations for termination, the communication with the employees that we've had, investigation considerations that really outline procedures from the very initiating step, the primary step of you find out there's an incident, all the way to the end of what that outcome was. And there's a lot of steps in there that I think are easily missable. And I can, from my personal experience, having a checklist and these templates have really held my hand to ensure that I'm compliant, considerate, and I'm in a neutral place that builds consistency throughout the district. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, so for me, I think people will walk away having learned a lot from each other, having learned a lot from us, and even just having some people that they know they can reach out to afterwards, some HR colleagues that they've spent an hour learning with and growing with, and feel they have that a resource in the people as well.
Yeah, I'd say our goals are focused on due process, retention, not termination. Discipline should be appropriate and correspond to the seriousness. And that's something that Phil has always discussed with me. Does the consequent match the action? And that has really allowed me some reflection in my position. Having the facts at your fingertips, preparing to explain the problems clearly with examples and solutions, and listening to our employees, knowing collaboration is key, much like Phil said, being flexible within a consistent framework, and knowing that at the end of the day, some employee relationships, they don't work out. And how do you walk into that, and how do you both walk out, or all parties walk out in a good place?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be really helpful to a lot of our members that will be attending that session to kind of learn the better ways to communicate, even in those hard situations. So, what is one tool or strategy from your session that you can implement into your listeners can implement into their districts immediately?
Yeah, great question. So one of the tools that we're kind of going to base the session on is a letter of reprimand template. And it's just kind of a letter that will document all the different pieces that need to be communicated in that letter. Covering due process, covering that they had union representation, covering the details of the incident that occurred, the rule that was broken, the supports we'll put in place, what the consequence was, just making sure that all of those things are covered. It's something that I think was shared with me, and I've shared it with Gabe, and I think many other people will benefit from.
And we've never really had that in our district. So the feedback from my administration with the implementation of this letter of reprimand has been phenomenal, in a sense, from just superintendent, assistant superintendents, and then our building administration, who are really on the ground addressing these issues. So it's going to be an invaluable resource. I've learned that you spend a lot of time with your legal representation in human resource throughout the year, a shocking amount of time, and so there's a lot of compliance issues. And so one of the value of the resource is a recommendation for termination template. And it really kind of covers the gamut of what you would include in a letter that's compliant, legally compliant, has been looked at by our legal team, reviewed, gone to the Board of Education, has been approved. And that's going to be something that our attendees can take home with them right away. And at least have that template to literally just fill in the blanks of what happened based on the incident, and there's going to be value there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are you guys looking forward most to doing at this 86th annual conference this year?
So I guess I'm just looking forward to presenting with Gabe. This will be our first time presenting together. But then just learning from the people who come and, helping them grow in the discussion. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, I'd mirror that. Phil's phenomenal. It's not because I'm on the call with him or he's my mentor. He's well respected in his profession, particularly in the state of Illinois. And to be able to have an opportunity to not only learn with him this year, but then provide opportunities for other people to learn, and then share that, is really exciting for me to be presenting with him. And then, of course, meeting new people, sharing the information, and my personal growth as a director of human resource. I think when we attend these sessions at ASPA, you really do walk out with so many things, right? And I think the most valuable part of that is, for me, has been the relationships I've built with people, and the knowledge that the people I interact with share with me. And I think that's going to be really awesome.
Well, may I just say, you guys make such a perfect team, it looks like. So, you've mentioned that you've attended a couple of ASPA annual conference before. What has been your favorite part of it?
So my favorite part has just been meeting people in the profession. And I think, there's something about getting together with people who understand and do the same type of work that you do, where you make connections with people and long-term networking relationships that just really help benefit you the most. One of the things I've always said at conferences is like, yes, it might cost around $1,000 to go to the conference with airfare and hotels and all that stuff, but we often learn enough that saves us $10,000 in attorney fees. So, that's a huge value.
Great way to look at it. Let me tell you, best way to look at it.
100%, totally agree with that. Last year was my first year, so it's fresh for me. But outside of the wealth of information that you get from the breakout sessions, that can be implemented immediately, which is our intent. It's afforded me the opportunity to broaden my network of contacts throughout the country, which is also proved to be invaluable. Been able to connect with organizations through a number of vendors that attend. I think that's something that you don't always expect, but when you have an availability to find out the other resources that support the department, it's had a strong impact on me and provided efficiency. I think, as Phil said, the amount that you invest in things, it comes back tenfold. So it's not just the people; it's also the vendors, and then at the end of the day, it really is the relationships and the experience. There's something to be said about being able to travel to places you don't necessarily go, spend time with people you don't spend time with, gain information within the scope of what you do from other people in kind of a foreign land, but with all commonality. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for joining me, Phil and Gabe. I'm so excited to see you guys at our annual conference, October 15th through 18th in Seattle. It's going to be great. Thank you so much for hopping on with me today.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Welcome.
We can't wait to see everybody.
Perfect. Have a great one.
You as
You
well.
too.
Take care.